I'll call this meeting to order. Next on our agenda is approval of the agenda.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to table the master plan discussion to next month and remove it from the agenda today.
Second.
Okay, Peggy seconded?
I second.
Okay, I mean, not Peggy, excuse me, I'm looking at one way and
Point that
Pointing
out.
at
pointing
the
you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Now we need to vote on the amended agenda.
I move that we vote on the amended agenda for October 3rd's meeting.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Okay, we now, I believe you received a copy of the minutes from Christie. Are there any corrections, additions to those minutes as provided? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of September 5.
Okay.
Second.
It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll give Christie a second to catch up, and then we'll move to her part.
Just to make sure I got that correct, the motion was from Peggy and the second was from Melanie.
Yeah.
And was I right on the second?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so in moving to programs and facilities update, in terms of programs, the chair yoga classes are ending because there was not enough participation. That came from a lot of thought process with the instructor because the few folks that were taking that class really needed it, but it came to just a numbers. We typically like to see at least 6 people in a class to make it go, and she was not reaching consistently 6. So that's going to end. However, an additional yoga sculpt class will be added to Mondays, where we just have had that on Fridays, so it will now be 2 days a week.
So her numbers have picked up?
For yoga sculpt,
Uh-huh.
Kate is going to do that, and she thinks that Mondays would work to get sufficient numbers.
Okay, so she's doing Monday. Is Alice doing Friday?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Shag lessons have 7 couples signed up. They could use a few more, but the instructor's willing to go forward with the 7 couples at this time as long as nobody drops out. Several rec programs are currently on the town's website for pre-registration. I know you guys have all seen that in the newsletter blast, so I won't go through each of those because I think we covered them last month. I will draw attention to the volunteer appreciation luncheon that's scheduled for October 25th at 11:30. I'm not sure that I heard back from all of you on that so far, so if you can make sure that you get back if you can attend and if you'll be bringing a guest
And that's on a Tuesday, correct? I mean, a Thursday.
on a Thursday.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take,
No, all the 25th is a Friday.
Friday. Yeah, I still probably, I'll be getting in that day. I don't think I'll be in time for the lunch.
Okay.
I can't.
And then Brunswick Wellness Coalition, who I am not very familiar with, but reached out to me. I guess they're doing a countywide event on November 16th to encourage people to walk a mile. But the contact person who is in charge of it has not reconnected with me as far as details of what they would like us to publicize. So until I can lay eyes on that, I'm not sure if we'll be participating, but if we do participate, it will be self-led. It's not something that we run. It's just encouraging folks to be active that day, to go out to an area that's safe and walk a mile. I think they're going to publicize county parks, but we don't have one that's large enough to go walk a mile in, so. And so depending on how that unfolds, you may see it added to the publicity we put out.
Christie, or so do y'all think you'll just let people walk? You want to identify like from here on Brunswick Avenue down to wherever's a mile? You just let people kind of get out and walk?
Yeah, it's got, because it'll be self-reporting, and I don't even know
Okay.
that you have to turn anything back in, so it's wherever anybody's comfortable.
Okay.
The town was honored with the Community Sustainability Award for communities under 10,000 in population for our beach nourishment project last week in Pittsburgh through the International City County Management Association. The ICMA article has been placed at your seats for you to read at your leisure. It's good coverage for the town, and we're excited about that. Currently, we anticipate Fran Way, our coastal consultant engineer, to be at the November Board of Commissioners meeting to give his annual report on the status of the beach. Hope you all can attend that meeting. Fran always does a good job of breaking down his report that will be published later for the public on what we're having as far as erosion or accretion on the beachfront. So, again, we're anticipating that to be at the November Board of Commissioners meeting.
And did we have any issues? It wasn't a named storm, but this last storm that came through, did you notice or assess any major damage?
We haven't assessed any major issue with that. It seems that the sand's still in the system from what we can view, and so that will kind of change over time. As the tide changes, you'll see that where the sand's further out in the system, we'll get it moving back onto shore. So with Michael, when we went out to depth of closure, we were able to see a lot of our Florence losses out in that area. So it just kind of migrates in the system over time. No major erosive issues that we found at this time.
Okay. And all of our new walkways, the blue mats and all that were fine, and
Those were fine. And then moving to facilities, the restroom at 114 OBE opened since our last meeting, and that lighting issue's been resolved. We are still getting quotes on the crack in the asphalt seam that needs to be repaired on the Bridgeview multipurpose court. We did have a bid opening for Avenue E's ADA project to include an additional public restroom at the East End last Friday. And there was a bid opening today for the 801 OBW walkway. Those will complete our listed ADA projects that we needed to complete before March. Public accesses, I had added that at the end, the public accesses fared well during the storm, so.
So obviously you got enough people to do, when you did bid opening,
Yes,
move forward with both of those projects?
we did.
Okay. Can we go back up to programs? So do
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
enough volunteers for Halloween? Is there anything we need to know about that?
I just mentioned if any of the board was available either during the day to help prepare the booth or at night, that we could use some help. If you're not in town, I mean, it's not something you have to make an additional, feel like you need to make an additional trip for into town. I know that at least myself and Megan are going to be at the booth, and then a couple of people have told me since we came
Okay.
in, they'll be there.
And then, can I ask one more?
What time or where do we meet you?
It's gonna be held across the street at Bridgeview Park, and I will get you a report time a little closer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, do you need help prior to our arrival, the public arrival, preparing?
Probably for a couple people, so I'll let, you know, if that's what you're really interested in is the decorating part, then I can get with you separately on a time.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm available.
Okay, one more question. I know we're jumping a holiday, but any plans for Christmas or any thoughts on what we normally do at Christmas since don't have our pavilion?
Yes, at this time, unless somebody tells me something different, our Christmas plans will have to be across the street. We've done some early reconnaissance, and at this point, it doesn't look like the tree that we normally use will fit underneath the picnic shelter, and it can't be outside the picnic shelter, so we will likely be using the tree that's already in the park in the corner as the tree this year. The natural one, but that more to come on how that unfolds. And typically, one year we fluctuated and we did Friday, and Heather has input into the Christmas, so I don't want to get ahead of it, but typically we do the Thursday night after Thanksgiving, which would be December 5th.
Which is the day of our board meeting,
That'd be the day of our board meeting.
okay?
Then we'll all be in town.
That's right. That's right, that'll be a good time to make sure we're all here, okay. I know I'm getting ahead a couple months, but,
No, it's fine. We tried Friday once, I think 2 years ago, but then we ended up that we were competing with Charlotte, I believe, or Ocean Isle. So I believe last year we went back to Thursday, and I'm assuming that's what she's going to want to do this year as well.
okay, all right. Any other questions, or? All right, so we've moved the master plan discussion until November. And so we've got all our handouts.
Right.
And just bring those again, and hopefully our other two board members can be here for that discussion. I think it's important that we get all kinds of input rather than doing it kind of piecemeal.
I agree. I hope Keith's
Right.
finished with what he needs.
Right, I know he's busy.
Whew.
I guess we have no public comment. Comment?
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
The new bike lanes, is that a Parks and Rec, Public Works? Because we're getting calls that need to be swept and cleaned, they're kind of dangerous, and I don't know who, it seems recreational.
Well,
As I've discussed or informed the board, we're looking at what the proper maintenance venue is for that. My position is that it's Public Works, and should be paid for from the general fund because it's a street. And it's also a state road.
and I know.
Now, it was paid for through the B Part fund.
All right, we do maintenance on the playground, I just didn't know how to view it. If it was a recreational asset or a road.
Well, there's another consideration in that whether or not that it qualifies as PAL bill funds because it's state maintained. It's a state road, but it's a town accoutrement to a state road. That's a question that I haven't got an answer for.
Thank you.
Hey, it does need to be cleaned. There's a lot, but you know what? We have the same thing with the sidewalks. You know, some people have their sidewalks very nice, and some people, there's so much rot, I mean, it's just tough to walk or ride anything on the sidewalk. So it's the same thing that I'm seeing on the bike lane and the sidewalks.
And I know that Candace just touched on this, but if everybody will just kind of stick these sheets in your folder for next
Yep.
month, and then that way we won't waste paper and have additional copies that need to be made next month.
Right. And I actually may get this is the handout that comes from the master plan. That's a PDF, isn't it? I mean, what you sent me is a PDF. I may try to get that bigger
That would
and,
be really nice.
and cut out. I mean, I think I can do that and send that to you, Christie. I think I may cut out the years with the budget. We can kind of keep this for that. I'm not sure the budget is the most important part of that. I'm going to see if I can edit this PDF so that we can make the actual first column larger. I had meant to do that earlier, and I was having trouble with my edit function on my PDF file, but I think I can get that back to you.
Can I ask something? Is it now time to?
To ask the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just had a citizen of Holden Beach ask me if we would consider putting a disability swing in our park, in the park, I guess, where the swings are and everything. I don't know what that is, but,
Yeah.
It's a
It's a big,
big square.
right. But I'm just bringing it up because I know
Okay.
we'll be looking for next year, and I know we're looking at doing some renovations, I think, there in the park, so just,
Right.
I told her I would bring it up.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I think that's on your agenda, Christie, for 2025 to do a redo of all those big pieces. So that might be something that we can keep on the, put it in your file, I guess, that we can talk about later. And I expect ADA may have some more impact on that playground as
There
well.
needs to be more ADA accessible.
Yeah. But we'll wait to get the point of where we're redoing it to kind of address those issues. Great, I'm glad you brought that forward, Ray. Anything else from the board?
I'd like to say congratulations for their,
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
really great.
yeah, job well done.
Absolutely.
This is the second recognition of that program, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Christie got a picture in there with it
I
too. That's not celebrity,
Yeah.
And David.
yeah.
And it's nice to be recognized for doing something right.
Which they do a lot of.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Anything else? Peggy, Grace, Ray, Melanie? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.